Today?
Okay.
Freddie, Zhao's last fight was at Wongsongai Gym. What did we learn about Zhao in that very blood and guts type fight?
Well, the tough fight is I was cut pretty bad, and it was closing up on him a little bit, and he worked through it, and I don't think he's been there quite that many times in his lifetime, because most of his fights were 3-round amateur fights, and he showed a lot of heart, and I was really proud of him. I think he did well.
When you're getting someone to go like 12-round championship fights, like Zhao, how is he progressing in terms of like cardio? Like, how have you noticed his stamina improving?
Well, my strength coach works on that quite a bit, and we work together on that. And we peak him at 12 rounds, and then we taper off from that point and go down 6, 8, 4. And so the thing is, you want to peak him at the right point and not overdo it. And that's a fine line right there. So the thing is, getting to know him along the way, I kind of know where his peaking point is, and we're about to hit that later on this week.
I wanted to actually ask you about your relationship with Zhao and how it's progressing. When you met Manny, it seemed like it was almost like love at first boxing sight.
Zhao was a little bit different because of the language barrier. And I can talk to his wife more than him, but he's like me. I'm an American. We live in America, and I don't know any other languages, and I probably should because I train a lot of fighters that speak other languages. And so, but it's just like school wasn't that great for me. I wasn't that good at school. But Shiming doesn't really care to speak English so much. He's getting a little bit better. He does know when I say, "What's the plan today?" He does know what he knows. He asks me that every day. So then I'll give him the plan, and I will. We've gotten to know each other, and just by his smile, he's a good guy and stuff like that. He's a really good kid, and then he understands through translators where I want him to peak and then taper off. And the biggest mistake we made is that his first big fight in China for 10 rounds. The food came to his room, and the staple setting there for the food process is obviously rice. So rice has a lot to do with the carbs and so forth. Manny's the same way. If Manny doesn't have rice, forget about it. So Shiming, the rice came overcooked and salty. So I said, "Okay, what did you do?" And he says, "I threw it away." I said, did you order some more?" He says, "No." I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Well, I didn't really know if you wanted me to." And we get a little mix-up between me and the translator. So now I have to watch him a little more when he's eating. So when the order comes to the room, I'm in the room. And is it too salty? Is it too overcooked? It's just, if it is, we call room service again and tell them to fix it. So because that fight, he ended up fading a little bit at the end of the fight, and I was worried about him. And it was because I wasn't watching him so closely, and he didn't eat enough for that fight. Because after the rice is no good, he was used to having a candy bar. Because the Olympic fight, I said, that might take you through 3 rounds, but it won't take you to 10 or 12.
Does that shock you, or are you you're a professional Olympic athlete. How has this not been broached maybe months ago when you got your Olympic funding?
It shocked me a little bit, yes, but I thought I thought we had a basis covered and so forth. But I thought I have to put more pressure on myself, and more responsible things have to lay on me, and I have to make sure he knows what to do because he really hasn't been taught these things. You would think. When I first went to China, I thought I was going to see some fancy equipment like on Rocky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the Russians have.
Yeah.
And they don't even have speed bags. He didn't hit a speed bag until he came to America.
That can't be true.
Yeah, I swear to God, he never saw one. You should see him first day. It was pretty funny. He had no clue. Double M bag, same thing. He perfected them both, and he likes them both. He has a lot of fun with them, but he never saw them before.
That's totally thrown me off. Okay. Anyway, getting back to the world of reality, was it easier to understand him or understand Amir Khan's Bolton accent?
No, the Bolton accent's a lot easier to understand. It's somewhat English, but Chinese, I'm a little bit lost in the dark.
Your Tagalog is probably serviceable. Serviceable.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, through osmosis. His last fight, it was very, very much a blood and guts fight. The opponent seemed just the most game opponent ever. Do you think opponents raise their game to fight Zou, or do you think matchmaker just picked a good one?
No, Manny Pacquiao looked like he came to win. The thing is, win over Shiming at this point is huge for anybody. I mean, he's going to go on to bigger and better things, of course. So I think people that fight him right now will rise to the occasion, for sure.
Zou is being built and structured and brought along in a very particular way. It's quite clear they want him to be the marquee name in China and Asia. I saw Brian Valoria fight in back part of last year. He looked incredible. And how long is it going to take for Zou to get to that level with Roman Gonzalez and people that in this division? This is a competitive division.
He's very competitive. The first day I saw Shiming box with Brian, I says he's going to be world champion by his next fight. And then we went to the next fight, and all that stuff that we were doing with Brian, all the good stuff we were doing with Brian, went away. All the amateur stuff came back, all of it. And I said, oh shit, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be our next fight. It's going to take time to get that system out of his head. And even in the last fight, I thought, which he fought well, after the 10th round, he told me, I'm going to run and protect my lead, okay? And I said, no.
Zou told you that?
Yeah. And I said, no, you're going to go out and knock this guy out. And he says, well, it'd be a lot safer to protect my lead. I says, this is what pro boxing is about. I said, pro boxing, these people want to see you be impressively and they want to see you knock this guy out. They don't want to see you win a decision. So we've had discussions over that somewhat, and we're trying to work it out. But he still has that mentality, though, of the amateur background because he's done it for so long.
Right.
It's something like I just can't pull away. So we have our good and bad moments,